Most people lose control, not because they're weak, but because they can't tolerate waiting. They think patience is weakness. They think speed equals dominance. They think silence makes them invisible. They're wrong. The impatient speak first, react first, reveal first. And the moment you reveal too early, you surrender leverage. Here's the truth your ego won't like. If you feel the urge to respond immediately, you're already reacting. If you feel the need to prove yourself, you're already seeking validation. If you cannot sit in silence, you don't have power. You have anxiety. And anxiety is readable. Readable people are predictable. Predictable people are controllable. The ones who end up controlling outcomes aren't louder. They aren't more aggressive. They aren't even more intelligent. They simply understand timing. And timing decides hierarchy. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Power does not belong to the one who moves first. It belongs to the one who moves last. When the board is visible, and everyone else has exposed themselves. In this video, you'll understand why patience isn't passive. It's strategic. Why silence creates pressure. Why urgency is weakness in disguise. Why the one who waits collects information, builds tension, and chooses the final move. But be honest with yourself. Can you actually wait? Can you resist correcting someone? Can you resist reacting when provoked? Can you tolerate being underestimated without defending yourself? Because if you can't, this will expose you. And if you can, this will sharpen you. The first half will make you uncomfortable. The second half will change how you move. And by the end, you'll understand something most people never grasp. Control doesn't belong to the fastest. It belongs to the calmest. If you want to master that, not emotionally, but strategically, stay until the end. That's where the shift happens. Most people chase noise. Here, we study control. Now let's begin. Impatience is self-sabotage. The impatient move first. They speak first. They react first. They commit first. And in doing so, they expose themselves. Impatience feels like strength. It looks decisive. It sounds confident. It creates motion. But look closer. Most impulsive action is not power. It's discomfort. The need to reduce uncertainty. The need to prove something. The need to regain control emotionally. And the moment someone needs control, they've already lost some of it. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. A ruler who reacts emotionally becomes predictable. And predictability is the beginning of weakness. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you lost? Not because you were wrong, but because you moved too fast? Think about it. An argument, a negotiation, a decision made under pressure. You didn't lose from lack of intelligence. You lost from urgency. Urgency compresses perception. It narrows your options. It makes you choose before the board is clear. The impatient person reveals their emotional triggers, their insecurities, their priorities, their pressure points, all in the name of speed. But speed benefits the one who can handle chaos, not the one who creates it. In competition, the first aggressive move feels dominant, but it also defines the battlefield. And once the battlefield is defined, you can be studied, measured, countered. Watch closely next time. In any room, who is talking the most? Who is explaining themselves repeatedly? Who feels the need to correct every misunderstanding? Now ask yourself, who actually has something to prove? Power rarely rushes to clarify, because power doesn't fear being misunderstood. The impatient want to shape perception immediately. The patient let perception form slowly. Why? Because early perception can be manipulated later, but early commitment cannot. Machiavelli warned leaders against revealing intention too soon. Once your intention is visible, resistance organizes. Opposition sharpens. Barriers form. The impatient reveal direction before securing position. The patient secure position before revealing direction. And that difference changes everything. The one who moves first may feel powerful, but the one who moves last usually controls the outcome. Patience is strategic restraint. Patience is not passive. It is controlled restraint. There's a difference. Passive people wait because they're unsure. Strategic people wait because they're calculating. From the outside, both look similar. From the inside, they are opposites. One is hesitation. The other is discipline. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Speed feels powerful, but speed is often panic in disguise. Read that again. When someone pushes for urgency, they're revealing pressure. When someone demands immediate answers, they're revealing vulnerability. The person who can delay controls tempo, and tempo controls structure. Machiavelli believed that controlling circumstances often matters more than controlling people, and tempo shapes circumstances. Imagine two individuals competing for the same opportunity. One needs it immediately. The other can afford to wait. Who negotiates from strength? Exactly. The one who doesn't need resolution. Need creates emotional leakage, and emotional leakage creates leverage for others. Patience absorbs pressure instead of reacting to it. When someone tries to rush you, and you calmly say, "I'll consider it," you've shifted the psychological weight. Silence expands space, and space creates imbalance. The impatient people try to collapse space quickly because space makes them uncomfortable. But discomfort is a diagnostic tool. It reveals who is dependent on speed. Strategic restraint does something powerful. It forces the other person to show more, to explain more, to justify more. And the more someone justifies, the weaker their position becomes. Machiavelli warned against unnecessary action, because unnecessary action creates unnecessary enemies. Restraint, on the other hand, creates ambiguity, and ambiguity creates caution. When people aren't sure what you'll do, they move carefully. Careful movement is respect in disguise. Patience is not delay for delay's sake. It is refusing to act until action improves your position. The impatient chase momentum. The patient create inevitability. And inevitability doesn't rush. It forms quietly until moving becomes almost effortless. Before we move further, if you're getting value from this, tap like and subscribe. It tells me you need more videos like this. The one who waits collects information. Most people think waiting is passive. It isn't. Waiting is observation. And observation is power. The impatient enter a room and start speaking. The patient enter a room and start reading. Who is nervous? Who is dominant? Who interrupts? Who seeks approval? Before a single move is made, the board is already visible, but only to the one who isn't rushing. Try this experiment. In your next conversation, speak 30% less than usual. and just observe what happens. You'll learn more in 10 minutes than you usually learn in 10 meetings. Impatience creates noise. Noise hides patterns. Patience creates silence. Silence reveals them. When you speak too early, you commit to a position. When you commit too early, you limit your options. And when your options are limited, others can predict you. Prediction is vulnerability. Machiavelli warned that a ruler must understand the intentions of others before revealing his own. Once your motives are visible, resistance forms. But when you remain unreadable, people expose themselves trying to read you. This is not manipulation. It's awareness. Watch negotiations. The impatient seller fills every pause. They justify the price. They add bonuses. They explain urgency. The buyer who waits learns everything. Desperation level, flexibility, hidden concerns, all revealed through discomfort. Silence makes people talk, and people reveal themselves when they talk too much. In conflict, the same rule applies. Someone challenges you publicly. If you respond instantly, you reveal emotion. If you wait, you gather data. Are they testing you? Are they insecure? Are they seeking attention? Are others watching closely? Information changes the correct move. Without it, you're reacting blind. With it, you're positioning precisely. The impatient want immediate clarity. The patient tolerate temporary ambiguity. And ambiguity is where truth leaks out. Think about social circles. The person who immediately shares their ambitions becomes predictable. The person who reveals nothing becomes intriguing. Intrigue invites disclosure. People start projecting. They tell you what they think. They confess what they fear. They explain what they want. All because you didn't rush to define yourself. Machiavelli observed that men reveal their nature under pressure and opportunity. If you rush, you create neither. If you wait, both emerge naturally. Time exposes character. Under small delays, the disciplined remain steady. The insecure seek reassurance. The arrogant overextend. The anxious overpromise. Every reaction is data, and data compounds. The patient person isn't inactive. They are calculating. They are mapping alliances. They are measuring tone shifts. They are tracking contradictions. When someone says one thing today and another tomorrow, that's leverage. When someone reacts strongly to a small trigger, that's a weakness. When someone pushes for speed, that's urgency. And urgency is power imbalance. The one who needs the outcome fastest is rarely in control. By waiting, you discover who needs what. And once you know that, you control timing. Timing controls outcome. Even in leadership, this principle dominates. A leader who listens longer than expected learns the unspoken hierarchy of the room, who others look at before answering, who avoids eye contact, who speaks carefully. Authority isn't granted by title. It's granted by understanding. And understanding requires restraint. Pay attention to this. When someone rushes you, they're revealing something. Calm people don't rush others. Only people with something to lose do. The impatient mistake motion for progress. The patient understand that clarity precedes control. Information reduces risk. Information increases precision. Information reveals leverage. But information only flows toward the still. Water settles in low places. And so does truth. When you are calm, others relax. When others relax, they reveal. When they reveal, you learn. And when you learn, you don't need to rush, because you already see the outcome forming. The one who moves first may feel bold, but the one who waits sees the whole field. And in any game, social, professional, political, the person who sees the whole field rarely loses. Waiting creates psychological pressure. Information gives you awareness, but patience gives you dominance. There's a moment in every interaction, Psalm 25, when silence becomes uncomfortable. Most people break there. The patient don't, and that's where control begins. Human beings fear uncertainty more than opposition. Opposition is clear. Uncertainty is destabilizing. When you argue back, the conflict has structure. When you go silent, there is no structure, no feedback, no emotional mirror. Right now, think of someone who tries to provoke you. What would happen if you stopped reacting completely? Not cold, not aggressive, just unmoved. That's where the hierarchy flips, and the other person starts filling the void. They wonder, did I go too far? Are they angry? Are they planning something? Did I miscalculate? Uncertainty forces imagination, and imagination amplifies fear. Machiavelli understood that fear, when controlled, stabilizes power more effectively than affection. Not chaos-controlled tension, the kind that keeps others slightly unsure of where they stand with you. Waiting does exactly that. When someone expects an immediate answer and you delay, pressure rises. When someone pushes for a reaction and you remain steady, pressure rises. When someone tries to provoke and you refuse to engage, pressure doubles, because now they feel exposed. The impatient think pressure comes from aggression. It doesn't. It comes from restraint. Aggression is loud. Restraint is heavy. Imagine a negotiation. One person demands urgency. Let's close this now. The other says, calmly, I'll think about it. Silence. No justification. No counterattack. Just space. That space forces the other side to confront their own urgency. And urgency is weakness. The more they push, the more they reveal need. The patient don't resist loudly. They allow discomfort to grow. And discomfort reveals hierarchy. In social dynamics, this is even more powerful. Someone makes a subtle insult. If you react emotionally, you equalize. If you smile slightly and say nothing, now they're unsure. Was that ignored? Was that remembered? Was that a mistake? They begin monitoring themselves around you. You didn't dominate them. You destabilized them. And destabilized people make mistakes. Machiavelli warned rulers not to be predictable in mercy or punishment. Predictability breeds calculation. Uncertainty breeds caution. When people cannot predict your emotional response, they tread carefully. Careful behavior signals respect. And respect, even when silent, is influence. But this only works if your calm is genuine. Forced silence feels weak. Controlled silence feels intentional. The difference is internal stability. You are not waiting because you're afraid. You are waiting because you don't need to rush. That energy is felt immediately. In leadership, this principle shapes entire rooms. A leader who reacts impulsively trains people to manage them emotionally. A leader who pauses before responding trains people to measure their words. Measurement is submission. Now, extend this to competition. If your opponent doesn't know when you'll move, they prepare constantly. Preparation consumes energy. Uncertainty drains confidence. Meanwhile, you conserve both. Waiting is not inactivity. It's psychological positioning. You allow others to speak first. to escalate first, to reveal first, and when they do, they commit. Notice this in real time. The person who speaks after silence controls the emotional direction. If it's not you, you're following. Commitment narrows flexibility. The more someone commits publicly, the harder it is for them to adjust without losing face. You let them overextend. You let them become visible. You let them invest emotionally. Then, when the structure is clear, you act precisely. The patient strike once, the impatient strike repeatedly, and repeated strikes reveal desperation. A single, well-timed move reveals control. There is a reason seasoned strategists rarely rush. Because they understand something simple. Time increases pressure for the one who needs resolution, and decreases pressure for the one who can wait. So ask yourself in any conflict, the doe's cub, who needs this outcome faster? Who feels uncomfortable with silence? Who is trying to force momentum? That is where the imbalance lies. Patience is not weakness, it is delayed dominance. And the longer you remain steady, the heavier your presence becomes. Until, eventually, others start negotiating with your silence before you ever say a word. The final move belongs to the patient. In every conflict, in every negotiation, in every power struggle, there is a final move. Most people never reach it because they exhaust themselves too early. They argue, they defend, they explain, they push. By the time the decisive moment arrives, they're emotionally spent. The patient are not. They conserved energy. They observed. They let others commit. And when the board is fully revealed, they act. But pause for a second. Ask yourself honestly, are you trying to win the moment or the outcome? Because those are rarely the same thing. Most people chase the moment. They want immediate dominance, immediate validation, immediate closure, and that urgency costs them the end game. Machiavelli understood something most people resist accepting. Power is not constant action. It is decisive timing. A ruler who strikes too early creates unnecessary enemies. A ruler who strikes too late loses authority. But a ruler who waits until opposition exposes itself rarely needs to strike twice. The final move is powerful because it is irreversible. By the time you make it, everyone else has already shown their hand. They've chosen sides. They've revealed weaknesses. They've displayed emotion. They've invested ego. And ego makes retreat expensive. The impatient chase small wins. The patient position for the outcome. Think about that. Small wins feel satisfying, but they drain leverage. Outcome control feels quiet, but it builds inevitability. Imagine a professional rivalry. One person competes loudly. They broadcast ambition. They challenge publicly. They try to dominate perception. The patient competitor does something different. They improve quietly. They build alliances subtly. They document everything. They wait. Months pass. The loud rival grows comfortable, predictable, visible. Then one day, the promotion is announced. And it wasn't loudness that won. It was positioning. Because the final move was never dramatic. It was prepared. Now here's where most people fail. Right before they're about to win, they rush. They sense momentum and accelerate. They reveal intention too early. And once intention is visible, resistance forms. Before you move next time, pause and ask, is this the right move? Or just the fastest one? That single question separates impulsive people from powerful ones. Patience gives you something Aggression never will. Clarity at the moment of action. When you wait long enough, patterns stabilize. Intentions solidify. Alliances crystallize. When you act at that stage, you are not guessing. You are confirming. That's why the final move of the patient feels effortless, because most of the work happened in silence. Even in confrontation, this principle holds. If someone repeatedly tests you and you respond emotionally each time, the dynamic continues. But if you wait, observe, and respond only once, firmly and precisely, that single moment resets the hierarchy, not through volume, through inevitability. The patient don't react to every wave. They wait for the tide to shift. Then they step forward when resistance is lowest. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without calculation leads to ruin. True boldness is measured, timed, executed when success is most probable. The final move belongs to the one who is not rushed by insecurity, the one who doesn't need immediate recognition, the one who can tolerate being underestimated. Because while others chase attention, the patient build inevitability. And inevitability is the highest form of power. By the time you act, the outcome should feel obvious. Not to you, but to everyone else. They will say, "That makes sense. I saw it coming. That was the right move." What they won't see is how long you were preparing, how long you were watching, how many impulses you resisted. The first move creates noise, but the last move creates control. Power was never about speed. It was never about dominance. It was never about speaking the loudest. It was about control. And control belongs to the one who can wait, observe, and move last. If this shifted the way you see patience, good. That means you're starting to understand the game beneath the game. If you found value in this, like the video, so more people learn to move smarter. Share it with someone who reacts too fast. And subscribe if you're ready to master power quietly. Because the strongest moves are rarely announced. I'll see you in the next one. Before we move further, if you're getting value from this, tap like and subscribe. It tells me you need more videos like this.